Over the years I've had quite a few people ask me about how I cut the wood for my furniture with the different angles and curves and that kind of thing, because this craftwood can be relatively hard and I don't use power tools, so I thought I'd make a quick little video about it. Birchwood for popsicle sticks and that kind of thing can be very difficult to cut, so I throw this together just so people can get an idea of how I actually do it and show that you can do it too. I've got a few different types here. Balsa wood, which a lot of people use, very nice and soft, but these harder ones like the birch wood for the popsicle sticks are great for things like dollhouse furniture because they're so hard and they can be played with and they won't break. To cut curves into these ones, you always keep in mind about the direction of the grain. I've drawn just a basic shape here with a nice arch on it, and I'm going to cut across the grain first. Always cut across the grain. Use a really nice sharp blade if you can, because it'll be less pressure on the wood, because pressure is what makes it split. Start from the center point and roughly just slowly go around it over and over and over and go across the grain as gently as you can. You want to be able to push through it, but you don't want to split the wood, because when it's coming to the grain and you're going across it, the grain always wants to go through the path of least resistance, and that's why you find your wood cracks. Because I'm so close to the top of this, it's going to break. Once I've cut across the top, I'm going to cut across the bottom piece that's also going across the grain. I want to cut both of these out as thoroughly as possible first. That will help alleviate the pressure when I cut along the grain. It takes a little bit of work to get it done, but you must do it across and go to each corner. Make sure you get it really right into the corner, because when you do go down the grain, it's going to run in any direction it wants to, that there's weakness in the grain running down the length of it. And now I can go with the grain, which is very easy work to do because it basically splits itself. And that's why you have to go across first, because it will just split on its own. You can pop it out and sand it if you like. This one is a similar shape without the curve, but it's just another one where you have to go across the grain. It doesn't matter if it's rectangular or an arch, you have to go across first, because as soon as you get near the top of that piece of the craft stick, it will split itself in half. Just go over and over and over on it. It takes a little while. The grain in these are very hard. That's why this wood is so good, though, if you wanted to use it for dollhouse furniture and that sort of thing, because it's so robust. Once you can see it coming through the other side, just use a ruler or free-handed if you want to, and just make sure it is a clean cut all the way through, so there's nothing left to hang on to. You can use a larger knife. The larger knives are easier to drag across, but they're not very good on tight spaces. Now that's done, it will now naturally be easy to cut. Remember the point at the top there, it's going to break off if you are not careful. So you still have to be really cautious, and then very gently score. It's all about scoring across the wood so you don't split it, because pressure, it's like when you split wood for a fire, it will just naturally split its way down it. So score very gently to create the guide, like a little valley that you want it to travel down first, and do that multiple times without applying much pressure at all. Once you've run the knife down it a few times, you'll feel it starting to split, and when it does that, after you've scored it a few times, you can actually apply a bit of pressure and then it'll just break itself cleanly open. And then you can just very gently pop the piece out, and it's quite clean. You can give it a sand and it's all good. This is why I made this video, because people are asking me, because us YouTubers, we do this little thing where we cleanly cut something out that nobody can see, and then we'll do our little magic edit, and that's how it comes out. But this way you get to see the actual work that goes in behind it and how we get to do it. Just remembering about the pressure at the top. That is key. With the pressure from the big one, it's the same with the little ones. You might want to cut them to make shingles or very small square pieces or something like that. And if you go cutting them with scissors like this, it's just going to snap it, because the path of least resistance and that pressure, it's like breaking water tension. If you don't score it and you use scissors, it's just going to break it straight down the middle like that. So to break the tension, you just get a knife and score it. You don't have to do it too deep, but just enough to break the tension of the scissor blades cutting through it. And then a quick snip, and it comes off really nice and clean and doesn't break it. Nice quick way to make shingles. You see, if you wanted to cut longer pieces, you don't need to score it because the tension will run its way down either side of the actual piece of wood. It doesn't build up and break off, it just neatly cuts. It's all about just making sure you break the tension at the end of the wood. With matches, they're entirely different. So using scissors, you're just going to basically crush the wood into a shape that you don't want. As you can see there, it's ruined that lovely square shape that you want to hold within the piece of wood. I found the best way to cut matches is just to get one of these small craft knives and use the heel of the blade. And if you just balance the tip away from it and then just angle it how you like it, and then just prop it straight down like a cutting, just sort of a motion, it cuts it off so perfectly clean and neat. Really great way to do it. When it comes to cutting really thin slithers of wood for really small trim, you just cut the ends off the popsicle stick because you don't want to have it veer off. Having a straight end will really help with this. And you very, very lightly guide the knife down. I've tried to use rulers for this, but they are just too big and bulky. So just freehanding it nice and gently and slowly and running it down. You have to do it very lightly because the grain at this size, it's going to veer you off in the wrong direction. Just be really patient with it and very light-handed, because the smallest amount of pressure when you do this, you feel the wood trying to actually split itself all the way down. And I can guarantee you, if you apply pressure at the early stage, it will go straight off into the middle of the stick instead of down it like you'd want it to. So just take your time. It takes a little bit of practice to learn to do this, but once you do it, you can do tons of these in no time at all. I can feel that it's splitting now, and you can see that it's going. Still got to be very cautious. And there it goes. And so you make a really super fine, nice length of wood for any really tiny detailing. You get about 3 of these out of the one coffee stirrer. Excellent. And just for another curved one, like you might want to do, say, a rocking horse or a rocking chair or something, it's kind of the same rule. You've got to remember the direction of the grain, because if you try to cut it the other way across a piece of wood, it's not going to work. You need to go down for the length of the actual curve. This is probably the easiest one to cut. And if you're making something like a rocking chair, this is the most difficult part of the actual build. And it's quite basic. I'm going to use a knife to break the tension, because cutting it with scissors is far easier than trying to get across the grain. It is hard going. It's very roughly done because it's just an example. I'm not making an actual rocking chair. Let's give it a quick snip. It's almost already cut through, I think, because the curve is so long, but you still be cautious because it will split if you are not just slow and steady with it. It's almost done through. You can see how relatively quick this is. I've sped it up a little bit, but not very much at all. Wouldn't take you probably more than 10 minutes to do the base of a rocking chair, and that would be sanding included. Give it a quick sand, just an example. And that's a nice, really strong little piece of wood. And that's, basically how I do all of my work. I do all of it by hand. I don't use tools. I mean, you might want to make a grandfather clock or a little dartboard or a mirror for a little dressing table or anything you can think of. But these are very strong pieces and they are doable. You don't have to have power tools to do it. Well, I hope you got something useful out of this tutorial, and I do hope to see you next time.